the teacher is going to make an announcement at the start of the prayer that I'm here on behalf of myself and not on behalf of the district. And well, there goes the only argument they even can have. But that is very similar to, if you remember that case I mentioned to you earlier about the baccalaureate service, when they tried to say the teachers can't go to the baccalaureate service, and the court said, you can't stop them. You know, it's before school. They are private citizens like everybody else, and if they want to go support these kids in their prayer, they have every right to do so. So if you have those problems at sea at the pole, call us, and we'll be happy to help you.
This has to do with educator prayer meetings.
Oh, the meetings have to be before or after school.
Educator prayer
about prayer. No, if you are given free time to meet for any purpose, any non-school purpose or whatever, then you can meet and pray. Again, it's that discrimination factor. Could you meet and talk? Could you have I don't know, an Oprah club, or could you meet and talk about anything else? Could you meet and have coffee? And well, then you can meet and pray. It's just a matter of discrimination. Now, if you've got some taskmaster and it's like you're not allowed to do anything talking to each other, that's not directly related in these specific ways, then you're not given freedom to meet for any purpose. But it doesn't matter before, after school, any of that. What matters is what you're given the freedom to do, and they can't be discriminating against you because you want to meet for prayer versus some other reason.
And lunchtime they can meet.
And lunchtime too, yeah, obviously. Any time before, during, and after the day.
I have 3 questions.
Okay, a lot of questions on this one. We have email accounts at our schools. Could I have a signature that includes a scripture passage? Sure, I think that's fine, because that's your name. I mean, that's your own signature, your own who you are. Now, if somebody might, if you sent that to students or something from your email, I imagine you send emails to fellow colleagues and things like that. If you sent it to students, obviously you'd have a different story, because you're using a government email, and then you're the teacher, and then you're throwing scripture at them in a initiating way. That might be a different story. Could we email inspirational passages to other colleagues? Absolutely. Again, there is nothing to restrict you when you're talking educator to educator. I mean, the only time any sort of things come up is when it's a student, and there's a lot more freedom than you realize. Is it discrimination to hold a women's only Bible study? No, it's fine. You can do that. That's no problem.
That takes care of the men's one too.
Oh, men's, same thing. Yeah. No, again, now I guess the only person that would worry about that, I mean, well, maybe a lot of people do, but the only person who would worry about that would probably be somebody who's in authority over other people, and it's not required anyway. And so it's one of those things that, especially when you're talking about prayer time or things, or people sharing personal information, is it okay to have a men's and a women's, restroom? Yes, it's okay to have a men's and a women's restroom. It's the same kind of thing. It's okay to have a recognition of the fact that the sexes are different, and there's a reason sometimes to have them separated. I would like to pass info to my campus teachers.
Like life literature?
Okay. I am concerned that my principal might say no. What's the next step? I think know what other people are allowed to pass out, and just follow the same approach that other people follow. And if you do the same thing as other people are, and then you're stopped because your literature is Christian or religious or whatever, when you're stopped, you want to say, well, why? This is the process we use. What is the problem? And when they say, well, it's because it's religious, then, I would say, your next step might, depending on how much confidence you have, if you feel like you need to make sure that you're right and that you want just somebody to tell you, you can call us and we'll say, what's the situation, and walk you through it, and we'll say, yeah. And then you can go back and you could say, look, or you can give them the pamphlet, or whatever. You say, no, I know you're probably worried about this, but actually, to stop this is a violation of the law, and want to try to help get this rectified. Or you can call and say you've talked to us, And you can just try to educate them and say, look, I'm concerned because if this is happening to me, it's happening to other people, and somebody could turn around and sue you and sue the school district because you're violating the law. And I know you don't mean to, but let's get this corrected so that this doesn't happen to other people. Now, your next step is, if the person refuses, is, you have the opportunity to go up the chain. Because eventually you will get to somebody who knows the law and will correct the situation. And those are your other options. And you have to analyze each situation for what the wisest way to do, for the Lord. But realize that there are some people who will violate the law, and if you don't stop them, they'll just get worse. And they'll shut down more and more people, and it'll get more and more extreme when it comes to Christianity until somebody sort of says, no, you can't do that. What's next? All right. I am a security at a campus. I would like to know why we are not allowed to wear religious pins. I'm not sure. I would guess that, and there's been a number of cases, for instance, with teachers wearing crosses, or they've tried to stop them, and they lose those cases. The teachers don't, the school districts do. Teachers have a right to wear a cross. And so I would imagine people are allowed to wear pins or buttons, or, at certain times during the year, I'll bet you people wear things. So if they then say you can't wear yours because it's religious, that's going to be a violation. If they have some sort of ban on pins, that would just, I don't know. I'd like to know why. If I was a person, I'd want to know why pins. I have seen that in the police department before. And it's been upheld. It wasn't focused on religious